Hey guys, what's up? So today we're gonna do a gauntlet tutorial, or rather a corrupted gauntlet tutorial. But the strategy that I'm gonna be using in this one, you can use in either version. You can use this strategy in the gauntlet or the corrupted gauntlet, and you'll be just fine with it. But for a lot of you guys, this is your first piece of semi-high level solo PVM content. This is where the Iron Man gets their BOFA. This is where mains go to grind their first decent chunk of cash. And it can be a little difficult to learn, but that's what we're going to try to do in this video is show a nice repeatable method to learn this piece of content. So if you haven't liked or subbed yet, hit that button and let's jump right into it. So here we go. I like to see what side the boss spawns on. And then I make a little box, like a little square on the opposite side of where he spawned. And my goal in the beginning of the run is to look for two of each spawn. So I want to find two of these rocks to mine, two of the trees, two of those cotton looking poof ball things, and at least two herbs, maybe even three. And along the way, while I'm hunting for these resources, I want to be killing the minions. The little minions for sure, and maybe even a mid-level minion. Because what we're looking for, beyond just the shards that they drop, because we do need to be collecting shards as we go, we're looking for a weapon frame. And that's going to make our base weapon so we can go and kill the DemiBoss. And it'll be a lot faster, even if we have a level 1 weapon, instead of just punching him or hitting him with this club. But here we go. So we found two rocks and this is our first tree. So what we need now is another tree and two sets of those poof ball things. And we're not doing great on shards. Our shards are a little low and we still don't have that weapon frame. So we can just kill this mid-level monster right here. Because not only do they always drop a decent chunk of shards, so they are worth killing, especially when learning. But they're guaranteed to drop that weapon frame. So we're gonna take this guy down, get that weapon frame, take his shards, and then we're gonna get back on that hunt for the poof balls and the tree. So here we go. Let's see what we find. And since we're not finding anything yet, let's just make that weapon. We're just gonna make a level 2 staff. I really like the staff. The staff is my favorite learner weapon. Staff and bow, and I try to stay away from the melee weapon, especially when learning. But here we go. There's some trees and some poof balls and even some minions to get some bonus shards. So we're basically done with our initial farming. We have all the items and resources that we need to do our initial gear setup, right? So we'll just gather these last few poof balls, and then we're going to head back to the front entrance, and we're going to make our gear. We already have a weapon. And we are still a little low on on shards. We do need some more shards, so we can't really finish our full set of gear right now. So we are gonna need to do either some shard farming or just go straight to the DemiBoss, and hopefully he drops a decent amount of shards as well. But basically, we don't have the inventory space right now to be fishing. We don't have the inventory space to get all of our food supplies, right? So we need to go DemiBoss hunting so we can finally clear out this inventory and finish making our gear. And the DemiBosses will always be spread around the perimeter of the room, usually directly across from the boss. So like that 4 square corner directly across the boss, straight across from the boss, we can start finding DemiBoss minions. And there we go. That was the ranger. The dark beast is the ranger. And we're going to be able to make a max level bow. And you can see we have all these spots to be getting fish, all these pools. But we don't have the inventory space to do all that fishing yet. So we need to be farming for some shards. But what I can do while I'm here is I can start making potions. Potions don't necessarily have to be made in that starter room. They can be made at any pool that you come across while you're exploring. So we'll get as many fish as possible for now, but what we're really hoping for is shards, and we didn't get very lucky on the shards. We only have 80, so we're going to have to kill the scorpion because he always drops a decent chunk of shards. So let's see how many we can get from the scorpion, and he drops a fat 90, so that's good. We should be able to finish off our gear now. So let's finish. We'll upgrade our torso and our bottom, and we still even have enough for the helmet, so we'll grab that helmet too. And that uses all of our resources. So at this point, we need to finish making our potions, getting fish, and upgrading our final weapon, which is going to be the bow. We're going to have the level 3 perfected bow. But we finally opened up our inventory so we can get the rest of those fish, fill up our inventory as much as possible with fish, finish making that potion, which is what we're doing right now. And at this point, we only need a few more shards left to finish up making up the bow. And since we haven't even started on the bow yet, that's going to take 80 total shards to make. That's going to be 20 shards to make the bow, 60 to corrupt it, and we already have the bowstring, so we'll be able to make the perfected version. But yeah, it looks like we are about 40 shards short, so we need to go hunting for some shards really quick. We have some minions here that we can take down and hopefully hit those shards. We're looking for 80. We're trying to get 80 to finish up our bow, and it looks like we are just short, so we need to kill one more minion. But we're okay because we still have 2 full minutes before we need to enter the boss's room. So we're not even crunched for time. We have plenty of time to either finish fishing, get some extra fish, which is what we're going to do here right now, or really just get those shards because we want a level 3 weapon and a level 2 weapon. That's pretty much my requirements. A level 3 weapon and a level 2 weapon. But here we go. We're just finishing up, doing some last minute shuffling around of the inventory so we can get a full set of fish to bring with us into the boss fight. And now all we're going to do, we're going to go cooking, we're going to make our bow, and we're going to jump into this fight and take down the Corrupted Gauntlet. So one thing I do is I reorganize my inventory, right? I like those potions and my one-way weapon swap up at the top. And now we're going to be cooking that food and jumping into the boss. And you can see that the boss is starting with prey range. So we're going to start with our mage weapon. That's fine, but what the boss always does at the start of the fight is he always engages with a ranged attack. So we're going to pray range and throw on that offensive prayer. And what the boss is going to do is he's going to hit us 5 times and then do a little animation and a sound effect and switch his attack style. So here goes, watch for this animation. There it is. And so we switch our prayers. And every 6 hits that we do, he's going to change his prayer. So we need to be changing our attack style as well. And it gets a little hectic. So when you're learning, I don't necessarily recommend trying to keep count. I recommend listening for the sound effects, which is why I have mine slightly higher than normal right now. You want your sound effects high, and you want to be watching for that animation to switch your prayer. It's more important to switch your prayer than to confirm that you're actually hitting him with the correct attack style. Because just because you hit him with the wrong attack style, nothing bad really happens. You just lose some DPS. It's not like you're healing him. It's not like he's rebounding damage. But what's really, really important is to make sure that you're praying the correct attack style. Because if you miss a prayer off prayer, he can hit you really, really hard. But once my health starts getting a little bit low, I just want to top myself all the way back off, right? So I'm back up to 90 plus HP, and we're looking out for those tornadoes. So a good time to heal is when you're running from tornadoes, right? Don't necessarily focus on DPS when you're running from tornadoes. You can, but it's a really good time to heal, right? When you're running from a tile to another tile, instead of trying to sneak off an extra hit on the boss, consider eating some food and getting your health back up to full. And what I like to do once my health is full is I let it drain down significantly. So I'm just like, I don't want to be eating all the time. I don't want to eat every time I lose 20 health or every time I lose like 30, 40, 50 health. I want to let my health get low, down to like 20. And then I will start eating. I'll just spend some time getting my health all the way back up to full. So you can see right now we're about half health. He's approaching 50% health, and we're going to wait for our health to get a little bit lower, and then we're going to do that again. We're just going to completely top ourselves back off. We're going to eat all the food and get our health all the way back up to full. So we're pretty low, and now's a good time to do it. So let's just get our health all the way back up to full. Right, so we're at 50 health, and now we're running from tornadoes. So like I said, this is a good time to heal. You don't necessarily need to be sneaking in those bosses or those hits. Look at how close that tornado got, right? So instead of letting that tornado get really close, that would have actually been a really good time to just continue eating, get our health all the way back up to full, because now look at what happens, right? Since we didn't top ourselves off and get our health full, we're going to have to heal again soon, and he's getting ready to go into the enrage phase. So let's actually get that health all the way up, right? We can even get it maxed out at 99, and we're completely ready to go. It's as if the fight just started and he's about to enter his enrage phase, or should I say phase 3. And that's going to happen when he drops below 33% health. So here we go. He's going to be dropping soon. And what I like to do at this point is I want to stay not in the center, but in, if you could imagine like an X. See, I have those tiles marked. I like to stand between those tiles and more toward the center than not. So this tile that I'm standing on is like a perfect tile to be dealing with the final phase, the phase 3. And it gets really tight. You can see right there, I even got hit by a tornado. It's a really tight squeeze in the third phase, and this is where things can start getting sketchy. Third phase is definitely a step up from the others because those patterns of those ground tiles, they really box you in, right? You don't have much room to be running around, and it's good to keep that high health right now, right? So if you were letting your health get down to maybe 20 or 30, this is probably a good point where you want to just keep your health relatively higher for the most part, right? Because look at how tight these squeezes are. We don't have much room to be playing. But his health is pretty low. He's down to 180 health, and we have very high health. So at this point, we can just be focusing on our DPS. And it seems like things have calmed down a bit with the tornadoes and with his, like our cycles have kind of fallen into play. They've kind of fallen in sync. And so we can really focus, since our health is so high, on just either dodging tornadoes or getting that DPS off. But see, this is why we don't want to be standing near the perimeter during phase 3, because he does that perimeter attack where the entire perimeter is unsafe. He makes all the tiles on the ground throughout the entire back 2 rows of the perimeter completely unsafe. But we're just going to focus on nuking down the boss at this point. As long as we're praying correctly, our health is more than good to do that last bit of damage, and the boss is down. And we had plenty of supplies. We had food, we had potion, we had plenty of supplies to finish off that boss. And that's the Corrupted Gauntlet, guys. So you can be doing this strategy in either regular mode or corrupted mode, right? That strategy that we did for dodging the corrupted Hunlift's attacks, we can use that in either mode. We can use the prep strategy in either mode. And I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you had fun. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. And if you haven't liked and subscribed already, please do so. We're getting really close to 10K subs, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.